Okay, it's been a little while. I took a vacation to go on a little blues pilgrimage to Chicago. So I was there for a bit. Took a little vacation. I'm just getting back into it. The neck got glued on. That was the last thing we all got to see, was the neck going on. And that's in. There were some gaps that I knew about, because when you try to get the break angle of the neck, when you try to get this angle, you're going to have a tiny little gap, and you can see I got one shim in there. It's like a tapered little wedge shape that's got to go in here. So I'm working on making the second one. First one went in, it's gluing. The glue is drying. So we'll just make another one here real quick. Just got a scrap of mahogany. Hold it down with a quick little hold fast here, and then take Dave's famous plane and just make me a taper. Since I'm going on this side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to taper it in two directions. It's going to taper, I'll make a wedge shape, but I'm also going to tilt it so that when it goes into the spot, it's thicker on the side that's on the show side. It's kind of it's a trick I've seen from a lot of places for making things look fitted very well. These aren't really structural, they're just filling a zone is all. It's a little thick, right? I've got to mark an area that I need to remove. That end is good. This to there. So I've got this little area. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. So I've got this little area. It might be tough to focus on. You'll see where the pencil marks are there. Right here. Let me see if I can hold this better. There. So we've got this little penciled area right here that I need to take a little bit off on that side. Just a tiny bit. And this one I want to do hanging over, because I need to be very light. And actually flexing away is helpful. There. Come on. Very close. I'm going to come at it with some sandpaper now. And then, because it's going inside and there's some glue squeeze out there, I just knock off the corner of the inside edge here. Okay. Yep, that's good enough. That is well and truly on it. Okay. So we're ready for the next gluing. Okay, then we just have to cut this off. A little bit of glue. Okay, and then I take a small block and a mallet and drive it on in. Okay. That is on there. And we take a little bit of the binding tape just to make sure we get it to glue to the fretboard nicely. And a little bit on this side here. Oop, I busted it. Well, it broke, but it broke right where I want it to. Dang. It actually came out very handy that it broke flush. Just got lucky there. Well, I snapped my wedge shape. I got a little too aggressive with it, I think. So, but it looks like I got lucky there. There's a little glue on the surface, but I can take care of that after it's dry. All right. Okay, glue's dry. And I've just got a chisel and my mallet. I'm just going to be very gentle here. Try to just barely trim it. Okay. That's pretty good. It's really close. I'm going to leave the long ends because they're long grain. I'm going to actually saw those off instead of trying to chisel them. Don't know that I feel safe to do that. But I'm going to grab a small chisel here and try gently to clean this up nice and flush. Okay. Maybe I'll file that cleaner. This side was very lucky that it broke off right where it did. It's almost perfectly lined up. Yeah, that was pretty good. So then I'll come in there with, this is a bit too aggressive. I'm going to get my smaller file. Probably can't see that real well, can you? I'm just over here with this, going like so. This one's got some stuff in the way though. Just clear that so now I can get a file in here. Just clean up the glue that came out of this. And then I'll come back with a finer bit of sandpaper afterwards. It just happens that the file fits down in there. Pretty lucky actually. And then we'll flush it with this. Do the same on this side. Okay, that has those shims nice and trimmed. I'm going to find a small little tiny saw and come in here and clean those bits up yet next. Alright, now we'll trim those ends a little. Very, 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 very carefully here. This is just a simple flush trimming saw that you can get just about any woodworking store. Has no set. Cuts on the pull. Has very fine teeth, so it's perfect for just touching the ends. There we go. One side is clean. Do the other side. This is where you have to kind of be a bit ambidextrous. Just being very gentle here. about to cut through. There we go. Oh, it's got a little glue on it. That's okay. There. And then I can come back in with a tiny chisel and just touch it to make sure it doesn't interfere with the pickup ring. And then I'm going to use the chisel as a bit of a scraper to peel the glue that's there off so it doesn't interfere as well.
Car number 25. That is a Rolling Stones official car in the Indy 500 tomorrow.
There we go. There we go. So that is now in. So now, the other thing, what I really need to do is make sure I keep that. I have to smooth up that binding a bit. The binding's got a little nick in it, so. Okay, that's pretty clean. So that little wedgie bit is done. Now, this and this edge, and these all have to get brought in, and I just have to figure out a work holding solution first. I think what I will do, I think I will take it to the vise. Alright, so as precarious as it may look, it's not too bad. There's a router mat here cushioning the waist or the hips of the body right against the vice jaw. There's leather on the vice jaws, the parrot vice jaws, holding it just enough, and I'm going to be working here to bring that up flush. Now you remember there's a little bit of a challenge to deal with. This might be the best view of that challenge, in fact. So you see that little triangle of shadow right there? This right here? This little triangle right in here? This is because I made the neck too narrow. Or not the neck, I made the body where the neck mates too narrow. So I'm going to have to do something creative to get get it flush and sort of taper right here. And then what I might try to do is fill that little tiny triangular bit with some binding dissolved in acetone, and we'll see. But for the moment, all I'm worrying about is getting the heel of the neck brought into shape here. So brought in flush, or as flush as possible. And I'm going to see if I can start. It might not be good with a rasp. We'll see. Yeah, this might work. I have so many things I can't damage here, so I have to be incredibly careful. This is a touchy little spot. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that transition. Okay, repositioned on the other side. Now I want to tape this side up as well. Make sure I don't destroy a bunch of perfectly good binding here. hopefully things don't go too badly. I got one side good, so all I gotta do, it's the same lesson every time. Slow down, take small cuts, don't get in a rush, use time on your side. Just make sure you don't go crazy. Make sure you think it through. It's ultimately what it's going to come down to. It's really just be careful. That's all it really is. Just take your time, be careful. Go after it pretty gently and gingerly if you can. So he says, and grabs a rasp. There we go. Just brought you up a little higher. And now I got to find my hand with this one because it's all reversed now. Just hit that. Make a little clearance room here. And of course we hit the thing we didn't tape. Taking my time here. I think I want to stand right here, which is right in your way. So I'm going to move you guys. Hold on. Yeah, I like how this is. So now we can do the back end of this. Okay, so now, let's see here. Yeah, so now I can work out the back, getting the heel on this. I think we can take this tape off now. Get rid of the tape. And then it's just a matter, this is fairly quick, I think. I'm going to start with the rasp, just laid flat here. Might need to do a little bit of work holding on it. Maybe right there on the heel block. Okay. Just enough to keep it in place is all. Now I should be able to head straight for it here. The curve starts early, so I need to be careful I don't slam into the curve. Okay, got the air sander out. Tools that go boom. There we go. That is an almost fully complete neck joint. The only thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to work out these little triangles, wedge-shaped bits of muck in the way. So we'll bring you back when that's ready. Okay, so now we've got this little wedge of. It's tiny now by comparison. It's almost ignorable, almost. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip off a chunk of this extra binding that I've got, and I'm going to plant it in here. Actually, I'm going to cut it a little bit shorter, but first. And this is going to get glued right here. Get that end nice and soft. Get this good and soft. Now, hopefully it softens this enough that I can just mush it. Transfer punch might do the job for this while I continue to mush some acetone down in there with it. The idea is that I hope I should be able to get this into a fairly seamless position that'll allow me to taper it well into the existing stuff. There it goes. It's nice and soft and mushy now. Okay, I'm going to leave that side, and we're going to try to do the other side here real fast. Flip the whole mess around here. You can't really see this very well, but hopefully the last one was good enough footage. Clean this out a bit. And then we'll grab another piece that a little bit more in that. Get enough. Now, slide this in here. Acetone over here.
Their employees do a lot more than we do. But if you need to know what the natural foods are, then they're on aisle 6. Have a nice day. Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Your local garden expert. Knowledgeable.
The only question mark that remains is whether or not I can get it flush. Hopefully it will get flush. Yeah, we're mooshing in now. Hopefully that. There we go. Let that sit. Nope, it's not bent enough yet. Needs to get a little bit better. How's that side? That side looks okay. I'm basically just mushing goop, getting goop in here, but I'm also trying to keep it curved so it's nice and tight to the existing binding that's in there. Alright, well, I went to lunch, been plenty of time to dry, and now we're just going to see if I can file this bugger smooth with the surface it's supposed to match up with. There's a fair bit to remove up front here, and we'll see how well this does. This isn't too bad so far. We'll see. Oof. Yeah, it's smudgy still. So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab a little more, make it a bit more slurry here. And we're gonna take some more acetone. Excuse the noise. We're gonna take a little more acetone to this. And I'm gonna make a mess of it here real quick. So what I'm gonna do is, I've got a Q-tip and some of this acetone. I'm just gonna put a Q-tip covered with acetone. I've got this binding, and I'm gonna fill the swab up with dissolved binding and see if I can't just touch up the area a little bit more once I've loaded it with acetone, or once I've loaded this up with binding. I'm going to soak it in the acetone a little bit, get it good and soft. There we go, getting some goop now. Kind of using it like a burn-in stick. If any of you furniture people have ever seen them, they're like waxy sticks that when you heat up, they melt into a blemish and hide it. Basically trying to just load this up with a swab on my Q-tip here in a way that's going to let me mush some of it into a slurry that's going to go into the zone that I need to kind of patch, basically. And then we can come in here and smudge it in. Now we've got some, I think since there's mahogany in that dust, mush this a bit more and try to clean it out a little bit. There we go. Okay. And then we'll try a cleaner method of peeling this stuff into it. Alright, got the sanding paper. So start with 150, the padded sandpaper. Alright, sanded nicely, everything looks good. The patching came out a lot better than I'd expected it to, which is good. It's really good. So that's that. The neck joint has been shaped and smoothed nicely into place. And it feels really good. I like it. It's Don't know what the next step is yet. I think we're going to head back to headstock inlay now. Seeing as that's the last piece that needs to go on woodworking wise. So. Okay, so neck is on. Came out pretty good. I like it.